There's a lot made about who should start at different schools right now at some pretty visible schools. So I'm going to just give you my take on who should be quarterback one at a couple of these places. Now, to be clear, a couple of these schools have already named their starters. We'll give you our thoughts on it right now. College football sickos, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. If you don't like clickbait and don't like traffic for traffic's sake, this is your spot. It's college football, nothing but college football all year round. We appreciate y'all for being locked in and for being subscribed. For Auburn, they have not named a starter as of Wednesday at, call it, noon Eastern. Peyton Thorne is who I would roll with. And I understand he didn't look great against Cal. I understand he gets in the second half against Arkansas and it's a pick. But I keep going back to what I said when he got benched. There's a reason why you made him your starter in the fall. There's a reason why you didn't get somebody from the portal. What happened to those reasons? You say, well, JD, he threw 3 picks. Yes, against Cal, I see that. But do you think all of those interceptions are on him? Is that enough truly to just negate all those reasons that you had to make him the starter? In a more literal sense, I think Auburn needs to go back to running the football. I feel like we're all pretty well aligned on that thought. Because when you put more on the quarterback's plate, whether it's him or Hank Brown, they have proven, hey, we're going to give the football away here. In a small sample size, that's what they've proven to this point in the year. So with that being said, who gives you more on the ground? I think it's Peyton Thorne. And again, this is not an anti-Hank Brown take. I think Hank Brown is going to be phenomenal at Auburn for a long time. I think he has a really bright future ahead of him. And we saw even flashes of that when he played against New Mexico, and we saw flashes of that against Arkansas early on. But Peyton Thorne brings the mobile element to him. If you're trying to defend Auburn with Peyton Thorne at quarterback, you have to worry about the idea that he might actually tuck it and run around the edge on that RPO stuff. Also, we talk about the RPO game for Hugh Freeze. Peyton Thorne coming into this season, even with how bad it looked last year for him offensively, it's pretty solid in the RPO game. I think he was somewhere north of 70% when it comes to his completion percentage in the RPO stuff. So if you want to simplify, make it run heavy, make it just play within the RPO scheme, I think Peyton Thorne's your guy. My own take on it. For Texas A&M, I've said this a couple of times. I want to double down on it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we triple down on this at some point during the week. Marcel Reed is your guy. And I understand that he doesn't have a ton of experience. I understand Connor Wegman was billed as a certain thing as a recruit. But listen, man, you watch the offense under Connor Wegman and under Marcel Reed, it doesn't feel like it's all that comparable. And this is not me trying to dunk on Connor Wegman or any other quarterback throughout this discussion, but it looks a certain way with Marcel Reed that it doesn't look with Connor Wegman. And if you put them both out there, this is what I say a lot with these discussions, if you put them out there during a pro day, maybe Connor Wegman would look better. But in 11-on-11, with what the offense is under Colin Klein, with who you have at receiver, and with what Marcel Reed has shown to this point, I don't care if it's Florida, I don't care who it's against, he is your choice. And as a defense, I don't know what you're going to be doing offensively with Marcel Reed at quarterback. You can be more creative offensively. With Connor Wegman, I watched Notre Dame, as good as they are on the back end, play downhill in the box, play man coverage, and that was it. And your offense was anemic. Some of that's first game, some of that's Notre Dame's a good defense, but I'm telling you now, with Marcel Reed back there, you can run quarterback draw, you can spread it out a little bit more, you can do some read option stuff, you can do more design quarterback runs, and I'll say this too, I think Marcel Reed is the high tide that lifts all boats here. Because with him in the backfield now, with the potential of him to run, that divides attention for the second and third level of that defense when it comes to defending those running backs as well. I might have a second or two extra hesitation as a linebacker, thinking Marcel Reed might have pulled it with my eyes in the wrong place. Le'Veon Moss is going north and south quick, fast, in a hurry. That's what he brings to the table. He empowers more of that running game for you and divides the attention for the defense. In the pass game, same deal. If I'm worried about Marcel Reed tucking and running, probably can't play as much man coverage. I probably have to play a little more zone, or I have to at least account for that. It's a thought for me. And when that happens, what does that mean? More space, in theory, for your receivers to separate and for explosive plays to happen. I'm not telling you Marcel Reed's a better thrower of the football than Connor Wegman. I don't know if that's true or not. But I think defensively, you have to play him in such a way that allows your receiving core to make more plays. Okay? And quite honestly, I don't think you have a ton of world beaters right now at receiver. So having a quarterback that can get them open with how he plays and his mobility, that might be it. That might just be it. So I think Marcel Reed, again, needs to be the guy for Texas A&M, and I feel very strongly about that. As of right now, there is no starter announced for their game against Arkansas, but if Marcel Reed's not the guy at A&M this year, I'm very curious to see how they go, how they would operate going forward offensively. Now, Michigan, they have named Alex Orji the starter going forward. I think it's the right call. But a lot of people after the USC game, seeing him throw for like 32 yards and seeing how one-dimensional the offense is, they're like, man, is that really sustainable? Is that really the way that we need to go for Michigan? The answer is that sustainable? No. Is that what they're going to be going forward to that extreme of a circumstance, run to pass? I'd be a little bit surprised. I think to some degree you have to have the pass game there to at least keep a defense honest. But I would take it a step further. Outside of Colston Loveland, who at Michigan needs to see the football? Like hey, this guy's got to get 5 touches. I don't know that there's someone that jumps off the page to you there. Not saying there couldn't be someone that surges and makes their presence known at receiver, but like Michigan is very obvious with who they want to be. Run the football, make you say uncle. We're tougher than you. That's why we win. Alex Orji at quarterback doubles down on that principle. What we said about Marcel Reed is true about Alex Orji. He divides the attention with who could be running the football. Benefit for Michigan. Benefit for Mullings. Benefit for Edwards. Allows them to stay ahead of the sticks. All those things are true. Now, again, I think there has to be an Alex Orji 2.0, and Sharon Moore alluded to that a little bit, but I think when it comes to what you have within that roster, you beat USC, and USC's got problems defensively. They're still, working to adjust from last year. But you beat USC with a receiver that was your leading receiver with 1 catch for 10 yards. I believe that was your tight end. And that was good enough to win. So is it sustainable? Probably not, but he is the right guy for you with what you have on this offense. Now, I actually didn't even know we had to address this, but for Oklahoma, it's absolutely Michael Hawkins Jr. And I put out a take yesterday on Twitter and got some kickback from the folks on Sooner Twitter for it. Said Michael Hawkins Jr., with what you have offensively, with what you don't have on the offensive line, is the correct choice. I said I think Jackson Arnold. Do you know what he is as a quarterback just yet? I don't think so, because your sack rate currently is at 9%. So Jackson Arnold, same thing. He could end up being a 5-star quarterback and have 5-star success somewhere else, but with the receiver room dinged up and with your offensive line not being super dialed in right now, yeah, I think you need a quarterback who can make something happen with his legs and get you out of trouble. And the pushback I got on that was, hey, listen, he had 3 turnovers against Tennessee. Show me which one of those was due to the offensive line struggling. And my point is, like, the thing I would respond to that is, like, that's not actually the point of any of this. Like, if you think Jackson Arnold got benched because of those 3 turnovers, you're incorrect. You're absolutely incorrect. That might have been the straw that broke the camel's back, but that wasn't the point. The point was your offense is not able to run the football. The point is your offense is not able to move the football. Look at the Houston game. Look at that game against Tennessee. Yes, he made some poor decisions. That was probably a catalyst, but that wasn't the reason. The reason was because you're struggling to find ways to move the football. Did Jackson Arnold make poor decisions? 100%. If Michael Hawkins Jr. also makes poor decisions, then yeah, probably we got more issues to discuss there. But Michael Hawkins Jr., I think me and the Oklahoma fan base are aligned here, gives you the best chance to win going forward, gives you the best chance to score points going forward. Because for Jackson Arnold now, I think when you look at what his career is going to be, it's hard for me to have 5 games of data on him and say, yep, we're out on him as a 5-star quarterback. Oklahoma fans, we talked all offseason about how good he could be. We also, on this show, said multiple times, if you can't protect him, it's going to be a difficult path. Going back to those turnovers, if we really want to harp on that here. When it comes to Jackson Arnold, you don't think maybe your decision-making would be impacted a little bit if you're getting sacked 9% of the time? You don't think maybe that would play a factor in terms of the decisions that you end up making, the ghost that you see, your internal shot clock? I think it would. So no, did all 3 of those turnovers have to do with the offensive line struggling? No, of course not. There's the lateral where he had a little bit of pressure in his face, and if you want to have a discussion about that one, we totally can. But again, I think overall, the offensive line and what you don't have makes Michael Hawkins Jr. the best option to move the football for you. We saw it against Tennessee, and I think we're going to see it here going forward against Auburn. Also, y'all, I picked Oklahoma to beat Auburn. I don't know why Sooner Twitter's got an issue with me, but I love y'all still. No matter how much you push me away, I still love you, all right? Do not get it twisted.